So let's say you're contemplating starting sleep changes, but one parent is really ready to get started and the other parent is not so sure. Does this sound familiar to you? More often than not, when I work with couples, usually that's the case where one parent feels really ready to get started and the other one is conflicted or ambivalent about it. So if that's the case, if that's true for you, there's ways as a couple to get yourselves aligned. And I work a lot with families preparing for sleep changes. In fact, I would say making sleep changes with your baby, there's about 70% preparation and 30% implementation. And that's what the books and the blogs and the posts and the courses don't talk about. So if you want some support with preparing for sleep changes so that the actual effort of making sleep changes goes well, that's where I can help you. And often what I'll suggest to couples is I give them homework and I have them sit together and talk through the process of making sleep changes and specifically how they're going to take care of themselves and how they're going to take care of each other during their sleep training effort. So if you want some support with that, here's a couple things to think about. Before you make your sleep changes, sit down. If you tend to write in a journal, great. If you'd rather just talk it out, great. But here's some things to write about or think about as a couple. How do you want to see it going? Like if you were to write it out real time as if it's happening, what do you want your baby to be experiencing? What do you want to be experiencing? How are you talking to your baby? How are you talking to one another as you're making your sleep changes? Another really wonderful thing to write about or talk about is, what are the fears and concerns you have? What are the things you want to clear up as a couple so that you can keep that in mind as you're making your sleep changes? When I was making sleep changes with my firstborn, I wrote her a letter, and I wrote out all the things I wanted her to know. That she was loved, that my love was wrapped around her, that it's time to learn, that she's going to do great, that I'll see her in the morning and we'll have a really good morning together. And then the other thing I did was I wrote myself a letter. I wanted to remember all the things about me as a mother, because when it gets really tough with sleep changes, you want to remember your why. So I wrote myself a letter, and my letters had things in there like, you're a great mom. You deserve to rest and sleep. Your daughter feels loved. So I had to write out the things so that when she was crying, I reread my letter. And so whatever works for you as a parent to remember what's important, to remember your why, to get yourselves aligned and prepared, that's really going to help your whole family. So it's going to help your baby. It's going to help you as a couple to get prepared. So remember, if you're not feeling aligned as a couple, there's things to do, to talk about in order to get more aligned and to support one another. And in celebration of doing that, I wore a special shirt for you. Here you go. More love. Take care.